We'll begin tonight with an update on the sale of the Kane Beef processing plant. The plant is in the process of going up for auction next week unless they can find a buyer. That means hundreds of employees have been furloughed, and according to Workforce Solutions of the Coastal Bend, there has been an uptick in the amount of unemployment insurance rates from the company in just the past few days. Our Michelle Pedraza explains how the center is helping those who are being affected. Michelle.
Mackenzie, after Kane Beef had filed for bankruptcy, they were in the process of selling the plant, but unfortunately that sale fell through. Since that happened, the company had to furlough over 700 of its employees on Tuesday and only keep a crew of 59 to preserve its assets. Right now, employees are continuing to receive health benefits and workers' comp insurance. Kane Beef officials felt it was a better choice to furlough employees in hope to sell the plant on Wednesday to someone who wants to continue operating it.
Important part of the plant are the employees. They are the people that can run that plant. And if someone who buys it who wants to continue operating the plant, they'll want all the employees back. So rather than lay them off and have them out looking for other work, we gave them that opportunity to stay just furloughed.
But because the unemployment insurance rates went up for Kane Beef this week, the state Workforce Solutions reached out to the Coastal Bend chapter in order to help.
We decided this was the best thing to do as quickly as possible to help all these workers that are out in our community, to help them re-engage back into the workforce as quickly as possible, but also to show them the benefits and the services that are available to them right now.
They will specifically be helping employees with unemployment insurance benefits. The sessions will review everything that Workforce Solution offers, including job search assistance, resume and application preparations, and interview techniques. They're taking place next Monday and Tuesday at 520 North Staples. The first two will be in English at 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. The second at 1:30 p.m. will be in Spanish. Mackenzie.